Speaker is the illustrious Ted Butler. His topic is champions come in all shapes and sizes. Ted came here in 2010, cycles, skis, and speaks well.
Thank you very much. Champions come in all shapes and sizes. This year's Super Bowl Sunday was an extraordinary day. But for me, it started off, as most of my Sundays do during the wintertime, by teaching skiing up at our local mountain, Mission Ridge. February just happens to be my favorite month up on the mountain, not only because of the wonderful snow that we get, but also because February is the month that we hold what we call consecutive week lessons. Consecutive week lessons for a teacher means that we get to teach the same group of students, ages 5 to 15, many of which have never skied before, for 5 consecutive weeks. And during that period of time, we get to know one another. I get to share with them all about our tremendous mountains, and in return, they get to share a bit about their tremendous journeys with me. And so it was that I found myself riding up the chairlift that morning with one of my students named Brandon. Now you have to imagine and realize that for many of these kids, riding the chairlift was very much like going on a trip to Disneyland, especially for those kids who've never ridden a chairlift before, or maybe this was only their second or third time. Some of them were excited with the prospect, others not so much. So we would tend to enter into very deep conversation about important topics, such as, what's your favorite kind of pizza? Or what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Do you have any pets? What's your teacher's name? What chapter books are you reading? You get the idea. Anything to help keep their minds off of the fact that they are now suspended 100 feet in the air from a thin wire cable. Brandon had shared with me that he didn't ski at all last year, that this was his first time after taking a break. So we found ourselves traveling up the mountain together. But this was Super Bowl Sunday. And we had fans, skiers, all over the mountain, decked out in all types of Seahawks gear. We had skiers wearing Seahawks helmets. We had skiers wearing Seahawks jerseys. We had skiers with Seahawks scarves, even skiers holding 12th-man flags. And our students were no exception. I noticed that Brandon appeared to be wearing what looked like a Seahawks jersey, the blue and gray of the collar showing below his ski parka, just below his tiny white chin. I leaned over and said, "Hey, Brandon, is that a Hawks jersey you have on there?" His little head spun around, eyes sparkling even through the goggles covering his tiny glasses. "Yep," he answered cheerfully. "Cool," I said. "So who's your favorite player?" "Russell Wilson." He gave me this jersey, but he looked down, and his eyes were no longer so cheery. Now, I will be the first one to admit that I am an optimist. I tend to be very much that glasses half full kind of guy. And maybe it's because of that that I didn't quite catch on to where this was going. I continued, "So, where did you get the jersey from?" Brandon's little helmet sunk a bit lower on his shoulders. "At the hospital," was his quiet reply, "when I was sick." "Oh, Brandon," I said, "I'm so sorry." My mind now racing from that glass half full to one now half empty. He continued by saying, "Russell Wilson came and visited me, and he sat down with me and we talked, and he gave me his jersey. It's my lucky jersey." Leukemia can be a devastating disease, even for the strongest. But for the body of an 8-year-old child, I could scarcely imagine. But I got to tell Brandon a little bit about my own dad's battle and fight with leukemia, and shared with him the incredibly rich and productive years that my dad lived in remission. I told Brandon, "It makes you a bit of a champion now too, doesn't it?" "Yeah, I guess," was his reply. By this time, we had reached the top of the mountain, and we got off the chairlift and skied over to our group of waiting students. But out of the corner of my eye, I could tell, at least for one of those in my charge that day, they were standing just a little bit taller in their lucky jersey. Later that afternoon, we witnessed a truly incredible football game. And we watched our leader, our quarterback, Russell Wilson, display the type of character that can't be taught. The type of character that's forged not only on the field, but off the field as well. Champions do come in all shapes and sizes, and they have names. Names like Russell and Dad and Brandon.